I have my exam in 1 month, and recently there are a lot of updates, especially templates are banned. So what should be my ideal approach if I want to get that 90 overall in the next 1 month? And if you belong to this category, then trust me, today's video is that video. It gives you complete insights on the new approaches, new templates to respond to the new update. If you want to make most out of this video, make sure you watch the video till the end. Hey everybody, Nakul here from Skills Pte Academic. Really hope everybody is doing fantastic. I'm back with yet another super awesome packed video on the PT strategy to score 90 out of 90 in the next 1 month, precisely from 10th December to the January 10th. Before we begin, if not subscribed to this channel, kindly click on the subscribe button. Anytime you need online assistance, it's a paid assistance. You can check the information in the description of this video. We left a WhatsApp link. You can click on the link, send us a message. We will do the needful. Alright, without any further delay, let's straight away get right into the new strategy to score that 90 out of 90. First thing first, let's talk about the latest update that has taken place since November 4th, 2024. The first update is templates are banned for describe image and retell lecture, especially for PT Academic and not for PT Core. Keyword templates are banned for essay writing and summarized spoken text. The third one being, if the software is unsure, it will trigger a manual review. So with these three updates, let's also understand if the exam going to be difficult starting 2025 January, and also we're going to talk a complete end-to-end a strategized plan to get that 90 in a month in this video. First thing first, PT read aloud. Are there any changes? Not much of the change, but especially one line reading in the read aloud. I never told people to do this, and even now I'm telling you, avoid using this. Some are getting, some are not getting. It also depends on many factors. So if you are thinking to go with reading one line in your read aloud, you are at risk. You may get it, you may not get it. Mostly you will not get it, so avoid using it. So how many minutes should I practice for the read aloud? It's very simple. You don't have to practice 1 hour or 2 hours. 10 to 15 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day or 15 minutes a day, it's more than enough. 10 read aloud practice questions, absolutely fine. But when you practice the read aloud, there are multiple things that you need to keep in your mind. The very first thing is to add naturality, meaning you need to speak in the read aloud the way you talk to your friend. There should not be any fumbles, there should not be any hesitation, there should not be any intonation. You need to keep your speed similar to what speed you would end up speaking in a natural scenario, meaning not very fast, not very slow. Go at a natural, comfortable, rhythmic speed. This is what you need to practice for the next 1 month, 10 minutes a day whenever you practice read aloud. Also make sure when you're practicing read aloud, if there are 1 or 2 difficult words that are actually posing your problem, meaning you're not able to be fluent, you're pausing multiple times because of this 1 or 2 difficult words, then make sure whenever you practice this 10 minutes a day on an everyday basis, make sure to speak fluently by skipping these 1 or 2 difficult words. Not like 4 or 5 words, 1 or 2 difficult words you can definitely skip. So whenever you practice for this thing as well. Last but not the least, if your pitch has a problem, meaning if your pitch is below 130 or 120 for a male candidate or below 200 hertz for a female candidate, it's time you increase your pitch, not by shouting. When you shout, definitely your pitch increases. Don't have to shout. Make your voice a bit thinner. If you're speaking market research is a vital part, you can little thin it, something like market research is a vital part of the planning. A little download voice pitch analyzer for Android phone or voice tools for your iPhone or any other pitch app is fine. You just download the pitch app and just check what your pitch is with respect to your voice using these apps. If it is 120, 100, 80 for a male candidate, you need to increase it to 140 and above. Don't increase it to 200 and above. A little sharper tone would do this. 140, 150. Mine is 140, 150. If you're a female candidate, if your voice is very thick, you need to sharpen it to make it come above 200. Let me now show you one read aloud on how to speak. This is the way you're going to practice on an everyday basis for 10 minutes a day, more than enough. The environment we live in is constantly changing, and with it, so are the challenges we face. Climate change, pollution and deforestation are pressing issues that demand immediate attention. Each of us has a role to play in protecting our planet. At constant speed, I'm not going fast, I'm not going slow. If you think I went fast, maybe little you can reduce it, but not completely too much. Reduction in the speed will result in the fluency being 40 or 50. Read aloud is evaluated with respect to 3 components: fluency, content and pronunciation. But know that it's the fluency that wins the race over all other things. After doing all these things, let's say still you're struggling with your read aloud, meaning you're not able to go at a monotonic rhythmic speech. You speak and you fumble, like the environment we live is constantly changing, and with it something like this is happening. Definitely marks not gonna come. So what is the easiest way out on an everyday basis when you practice the read aloud for 10 minutes? 2 minutes additional, meaning from 10 minutes to 12 minutes, 2 minutes additional. You just have to visualize. This is called visualization technique. Whatever you visualize, same thing will enact. Same thing will reflect upon your day-to-day life activities. So here you're going to visualize as if you're speaking perfectly fine. You're speaking in the read aloud without any fumbles. Some may not believe in it, but trust me, this technique will definitely work. Whatever you believe, here the same thing will happen. But the belief should be very strong. So try visualizing that you're speaking very perfectly without any fumbles, fluently in your read aloud, at least for 2 minutes a day. The same thing will enact, same thing will come forward when you practice. Over the time this gets applicable. If you're really struggling, then adopt this method of visualizing. Definitely helps you get that quick improvement in a very short interval of time. Now we move on to repeat sentence. Repeat sentence, yes, 30 marks towards your speaking and 30 marks towards your listening. Read aloud, 35 marks towards your speaking and 35 marks towards your reading. But repeat sentence is speaking 30 marks and listening 30 marks, because you're listening and then you're speaking. The plain audio, you have to speak exactly as it is to get full marks towards your speaking and listening. This is what is written in the scorecard. But another factor is also written. Even if you repeat 50% of the content, you're not going to get 0. You're mostly going to get same marks as that of reading or speaking the full content. Meaning for lengthy audios, you speak only 50 to 60%. If there are 13 word audio, you speak 7 to 8 words should be more than enough. For a short audio like 5-6 words audio, you speak perfectly, because for 5-6 word audio, don't speak 2-3 words. At the end of the day, it is the fluency that wins the race over the content. Remember here, psychologically, what we think: if I speak every word correctly that is in the audio, I have to get full marks. Absolutely no. We have seen instances where people have spoken all the words correctly, but marks is 0 because they have fumbled 2-3 times. They have taken multiple pauses. They're hesitating. They're not opening the mouth clearly. They're going very fast. They're going very slow. So it's the fluency that wins the race. Whatever the way you spoke in the read aloud, the same way you have to speak in repeat sentence. Or you can speak like the speaker. You can imitate the speaker, not with respect to the accent. You can have your own accent, but try to speak fluently. That fluency means no fumbles, no hesitation. It should just full stop. This is the one that matters the most. So if you're speaking all the words correctly, but if you fumble 3 times, it's going to be big 0. On the other hand, you listen to the audio less and spoke only less, meaning 13 word audio, you listen to only first 8 words and spoke the first 8 words perfectly by being fluent. You still stand a chance to get full marks towards your speaking and listening. Also from our experience, you skip the first part, like first 3-4 words, and speak the rest of the words, then also you don't get the marks. First phrase or first part is very, very crucial for the software to understand what you speak. So always make sure not to skip the first part. I understand first part is little difficult for some people due to accent problem. If that is the case, you have to start watching a TV series English or listening to English podcast to get familiarized with the accent. This is the only way out. So if you're really struggling in repeat sentence because you're complaining, I'm not understanding the audio, then all you got to do is, along with 15 minutes of repeat sentence on an everyday basis, you have to listen to a podcast for at least 15-20 minutes a day. In combination with these two, things will happen on its own. So 10 minutes of read aloud and 15 minutes of repeat sentence. Now we are heading towards describe image. Describe image was always an easy one earlier because we always followed a template and finished it off in style. Not worried about the content, nothing. It was the most easiest section, at least for those who are following me. But now it's not the case because templates are being banned. If you are found using templates, meaning a complete templated responses, or a response wherein you're not trying to speak something on your own, everything generic lines the template will automatically cover, or you're using a template and the blanks you're filling with one word, one keyword, one keyword, one keyword, or you're giving a mechanical kind of response like the image has beautiful colors, red color is there, green color is there, something like this. All of these are going to be flagged by the software for a review by a human evaluator, and when human evaluator comes and gets to know this, definitely he gonna rate you 0, 0 marks, 0 content, 0 fluency, 0 pronunciation. So with this thing in place, what we're gonna do, we're gonna rely on new structure. So what is this new structure? You're gonna start with introduction, something like the image provided is a bar graph, line graph, process chart, whatever that gives information about, read whatever is there in the title. Then we're gonna paraphrase it. Remember, it's a structure, this is not a template. Introduction, then paraphrase. Paraphrase is you're gonna talk something more about the image, probably from the title or whatever you see, or whatever is very much evident from the image, like x-axis talks about, the y-axis talks about, but few of the images do not have x-axis, y-axis. In such a case, you can just ignore the second line. Then comes main details, wherein we're gonna invoke 3 main ideas. Firstly, it is evident that conversely, another interesting point is these 3 lines of the structure, you're gonna fill it with 3 different sentences. You can make your own sentence, 1 sentence for each line or 2 sentences for each line. It's up to you. You can describe whatever you see from the image, but don't be too hell-bent, too adamant on giving the great idea. I give the best idea possible, I'm gonna get 90. No. Whatever you can see or whatever you want to speak from the image, you do it. Even if you misinterpret by mistake, it's totally fine. My grammar goes for a toss, totally fine. Because grammar, there is no marks in your describe image. It is just being evaluated with respect to fluency, content and pronunciation. There is no grammar, there is no logic. Make sure to speak something from the image. Even if you're not able to understand anything from the image, speak something from the image. Some of the sentences that you speak should correlate with respect to what you see in the image. It need not be a great idea, it need not be the best idea. Even a worst idea is fine as long as you speak from the image. After the 3 main details or the 3 main key ideas, you're going to conclude saying overall this image illustrates. Read the title or whatever you want. But throughout this, remember one thing. People often end up fumbling a lot because they're focusing into the image and speaking. When you focus on something and try to speak, you're going to fumble. Because when you pay attention to one task, it's very easy. If you're paying attention to fluency, you're going to rock in the fluency. If you pay attention to the content, you're going to rock in the content. But if you pay attention to 2 different things at once, this is not just like read aloud. You're trying to, calculate few things. You're using this and then sending it to the tongue to process it and then speak. 2 things are happening at the same time. So as a result, what people end up doing, 90% of their brain's capacity, they give it to content. 10% they give it to fluency. This is psychologically what happens to you the moment you look at the image. You should absolutely do the reverse of it. 90% give it to the fluency, 10% on the content. Let me just show you how I would do it by looking into this image. The image provided is a pie chart that gives information about number of participants per game across Monopoly, Candyland, Jenga, chess, etc. It is evident that for the Candyland, 23% of the participants actually play this, whereas 21% of the people play Monopoly. Conversely, only 7% of the people have chosen poker and 4% of the people have chosen Twister. It should be Uno, but I told Twister, should be fine. Another interesting point is Jenga and chess have been occupied with 11% of the participants and 15% of the participants respectively. Overall, this image illustrates the number of participants per game across Uno, poker, Twister, chess, Jenga, Candyland and Monopoly. I'm just trying to be fluent. I intentionally spoke something wrong. Don't do it intentionally. By mistake, if it happens, don't come back and correct it. It's okay. Grammatically, I have a problem. It's totally fine. Grammar is of no relevance with respect to the evaluation. If you focus on these things, unwanted things, you cannot be fluent. If you're not fluent, you're not going to get marks. It's fluency that wins the race over the content. Earlier, content was never there in the competition. Now, the content is just crawling and coming in, but it's still the fluency that wins the race over the content. Remember this. There could be 4 or 5 images that could come in the exam. Is one template be sufficient for all? Definitely yes. One is enough. Don't have to use multiple templates. Tested thoroughly, people are getting the scores. You don't have to worry. So how many questions do I need to practice on an everyday basis? 10 questions, 10 to 15 minutes, more than enough. Read aloud 10 minutes, repeat sentence 15 minutes. Describe image 10 questions. It should not take more than 10-15 minutes because 25 seconds preparation time, 40 seconds is the time duration with which you need to speak. 25 to 30 seconds, 30-32 seconds is more than enough. Don't speak till 40 seconds. Well, if you're confident, you do it, because the more you speak, the more mistakes you make. Don't also speak only for 20 seconds or less, because they've clearly mentioned in their website that it is impossible to process the information in just 20 seconds. And if someone is doing it in less than 20 seconds, marks will go down. So try to at least be 30 seconds would be an ideal one. But what if I've been practicing and still not able to get it? I'm fumbling. Very simple, the visualization technique that I told you for read aloud. Try to use the same technique here. Sit in a corner of the room with the lights turned off, nobody in the room, just close your eyes and visualize you speaking the described image without any fumbles, without any hesitations. And when you do this on an everyday basis, right, you tend to get this flow because you're visualizing it, that you're speaking perfectly. Your mind tends to believe that, and what is impossible you thought would be easily possible within a very short interval of time, probably 3-4 days or 5-6 days, within a week for sure. The next is retell lecture. Well, retell lecture, the old template, can I still use it? You can use it, whatever I give, as long as you write some phrases, but still I would recommend you to use a new template. Why? To simply risk it. New template, a shortened version is what I have given. Use phrases and not just keywords. You write keyword, I'm telling you, software will flag it for the review, or software may itself give very low scores. Avoid using completely templated responses, meaning template will cover everything. You put one word, or template will give you everything and you just have to use some keywords like keyword, keyword, keyword. I just have to write 10 words and my job is done. All those will not give you scores. You got to write phrases. Use the new template. This lecture discusses, in the beginning the speaker explained about, later the speaker said. Here the speaker also mentioned, in conclusion, the lecture effectively is summarized. 5 to 6 phrases, the more you write, the better the scores. Just have to fill it into the template and speak. But remember, when you speak, don't have to worry about the grammar. People go in the view of grammar, getting that perfect grammar. They make a lot of fumbles. As a result, marks will go down. Remember, written lecture is not a high priority module. Hardly contributes some 8 to 10 marks towards your speaking and 8 to 10 marks towards your listening. Not a high priority module. You should just focus practicing on note-taking strategy, because when you take the notes, what mistake people end up doing, they listen to an audio and take the notes simultaneously. As a result, they will not be able to listen also, they will not be able to write also. What you got to do is listen for 5-6 seconds. After that, you decide, okay, this is the phrase that I'm going to write, and just start writing down that small phrase. And when you write, stop listening, because if you're writing and listening, you will not be able to write. And when you listen, don't write, because if you're listening and writing, you will not be able to even listen. Do one thing at a time. This is the strategy. Write some 5-6 phrases. Once done, 10 seconds will be given to you. Use the 10 seconds to prepare well using those small phrases that you have written. Speak the template, speak the phrase. Speak the template, speak the phrase. Don't try to logically mix them. Oh, this is not making sense. So with the template, this line is not fitting grammatically. Avoid thinking about all these things. Just read whatever is there. Even if it is not making any sense, just speak. You're going to get your scores. 2-3 questions a day, 10 minutes a day is more than enough. Don't have to practice a lot for this module. Next comes answer short questions. No need to practice. Listen to the question. If you know the answer, tell the answer. If you don't know the answer, speak something relevant to the question or say something and click next. This is not going to give marks. We have tried and tested this. We skipped this till people got 90. But yes, don't skip it. Just try to speak something. If you know the answer, if you don't know, speak something relevant or anything from the question and click next. And no need to practice. You can absolutely skip practicing this section. Don't have to worry. The next comes summarize written text. Same technique as before. You're still going to follow. Whatever is there, 2 lines, you copy paste in between, add a connector, done and dusted. Towards the end, put a full stop. Connector being and, but, or, it. So could be anything, but put a comma and a connector. And, but, but, et, so, or, for, anything as such is fine. Try not to write synonyms. Don't use this too much. If I exactly copy paste, I think I'll get low scores. What I'm going to do, I'm going to write a new word in place of an existing word. I'm going to write a synonym. Don't do all these things. Your marks will go down. Whatever is there, copy paste. Take 2 sentences, in between them add a comma and a connector, and towards the end put a full stop. Don't copy half sentence. That's all summarize written text is. How many questions do you need to practice on an everyday basis? Don't practice. You know the technique, directly implement. Ideal word count would be 35 to 40 or 40-45 for both PT core and academic, should be more than enough. Now let's go to an essay. The update here is avoid using one word template. Rest all template covers one topic sentence you need to write, or don't use this. This was never working before, even now it's not working. Definitely it's going to be flagged, or even if it is not being flagged for the review, software itself is capable of giving you low scores. Not just that, avoid using keyword, keyword kind of templates. Template will cover everything. You have to put some 10 keywords. Dash, dash. Advantages such as dash, dash, avoid all these things. You got to write something on your own. So the template that I have shared, 2 templates I have shared so far, both of them are working because both of them have included 5 blanks, meaning 5 sentences that needs to be written by you guys. When you write these 5 sentences on your own with respect to the question, make sure you mix simple, compound and complex sentences. So how to practice for this? Alright, so this is the template that I've given. If you see second paragraph, to begin with, one prominent aspect of topic is first sentence. This means second sentence to quote a recent instance, third sentence. Secondly, third paragraph, one notable feature is fourth sentence. This is due to the fact that fifth sentence. Write 5 sentences with a mixture of simple, compound and complex sentences. Now what to practice? Memorize the template on an everyday basis. And these 5 sentences when you write, there should not be any spelling or grammatical mistakes. These 2 are the most important thing. For these 2, you need to write these 5 sentences on an everyday basis. Entire template is not required. Maybe in the beginning you start typing the entire template, but probably after 2-3 days you don't need to type the entire template. It's a waste of time because you probably may not do spelling or the grammatical errors there. Where you possibly go wrong? When you type those 5 sentences. So take 5 topics, any 5 questions in a day, write 5 sentences for each topic quickly within 5-6 minutes, as quickly as possible. So probably 20-25 minutes is what I would recommend, and not more than that each day for the essay. If you're struggling, if you think, no, I'm very confident of my spelling and grammar, then no need to practice. Know the template, know that you need to write 5 sentences on your own and finish it. Let me again repeat, 5 questions you take. For each question you write 5 sentences. Second paragraph 3 sentence, third paragraph 2 sentence, 5 sentence, 5 sentence, 5 sentence, 5 sentence, 5 sentence. If you have time. If you don't have time, then at least take 2 essay questions, different topics, and start implementing it. But remember one secret, essay will not give you 90. Essay hardly contributes some 12 to 15 marks. If you get 2 questions, maybe max of 20 marks towards your writing and not 90. If you get low score after using this template, a request, please don't come here and comment in the video saying this template is not working, I got 45 writing. You check your reading, listening also will be 45 only or 50. So its essay is a low priority module. It's all being hyped in the social media that working templates, use this template, you get 90. No, you don't get 90, you get 20 out of 20 if you don't make spelling mistake and don't make grammatical errors. Remember this. Now the reading module, when it comes to reading section, even now what is important is just reading fill in the blank and reading writing fill in the blanks. Choose multiple answer, click one answer and move on within a fraction of a second. Random one answer for choose single answer, random one answer for choose multiple answer. Of course choose single answer comes in the end, no need to worry, but in the beginning comes choose multiple answer. Click one answer, not to one, and quickly move on. It's a waste of time. Focus more on reading FIB and reading writing FIB. What about reorder the paragraph? Reorder the paragraph is not so important. Just finish my reorder the paragraph part 1 and part 2. I've made the video. The tips and tricks shared there is still very much prevalent, very much valid. So just watch those 2 videos, 40-minute video, more than enough. In the exam, if you can try to solve it within 1.5 minutes. After 1.5 minutes, still if you're not able to get, I think this is the correct answer, I think, let me interchange, I think this is the correct answer. If you're bombarded with all these questions, randomly select something, randomly drag and drop something and move on. It is not worth spending a lot of time because hardly it contributes 4 to 5 marks. But reading fill in the blank and reading writing fill in the blanks contributes some 50 marks towards your reading and 25 plus marks towards your writing. Now let's plan for reading FIB and reading writing FIB for the next 1 month. 10 questions of reading fill in the blanks and 10 questions of reading writing fill in the blanks is what I would recommend if you have enough time. If you think no, 10 is too much, man, it crosses almost 30-40 minutes just for this, then at least 5 questions for reading fill in the blanks and 5 questions for reading writing fill in the blanks will be appropriate. But when you practice with the right approach, because what matters in your practice is the approach. Simply practicing will give you mental satisfaction. 1 + 1 is equal to 3 if you are practicing every day. What is the use of practicing apart from you getting that mental satisfaction that, oh yes, I practiced a lot today? So you got to fix the approach, meaning you should not simply do with the brute force method. Read and then select. No, you have to mix collocation, grammar and the context. Now I will give you a small snippet on how to use the collocation method. In our course, we have this in detail. Collocation alone, we have some 50-hour. Grammar alone, we have some 30-hour. Context-based, some 10,000 questions and lot many factors. If you're okay to invest time and money on a course, you join our online course, link in the description. You can WhatsApp us. If you don't want, then yes, my video should also be fruitful, meaning the YouTube video should also be fruitful if you have the patience to learn. Let's start with one of the small collocation method that I would like to demonstrate. Pause the video, try doing it less than 2 minutes. Pause that, resume the video to understand how to do it. Let me now help you with how to do it quickly. In a close-knit community, fostering is encouraging strong social. You encourage something strong about social what? Social connections. Connection should be strong. Connection is tie. Social tie is a collocation. Many would end up writing social gatherings. You don't encourage a strong gathering. You don't encourage a strong social fabric. Fabric is something that connects everything. Correct? So it's fostering strong social ties. TIES is the first one. Second one, dash community events. You host an event. Here, if you want to apply grammar, continue reading it. It says organizing. So it's hosting something and organizing something else. So hosting the events is the second one. Third one, interest. You need to have a very good interest. You always say genuine interest. Are you genuinely interested in learning this? Then I'll teach you. Genuine interest. Genuine is the third one. Extend the invitation to. I'm extending my invitation to the wedding, to the event. Invitation, send or extend warm invitations to. Collocation, send invitation to a function, to an event or to gatherings. If you do that, it strengthens the fabric of the society. Fabric means something that holds all of us together. Correct? So it's fabric of the society. Social ties, fabric of society, they're all collocations. Meantime, I think I missed the second one. Often dash a help, lend a help. Can you lend me your pen? Lend a help is a collocation. Second is lend a help. So first one being social tie. Second is often lend a help. Third one being hosting community events. Fourth one, genuine interest. Fifth one, warm invitations to gatherings. Sixth one, fabric of the society. So this is one of the approaches that I'm talking about, collocations. Next is the grammar, and if grammar and collocation both are not working, then you're going to go with the context, because context one, finding clues, will definitely take time. But all the blanks will not be just based on finding clues. Some of them will be based on collocation, some of them on grammar. The rest, you take time, read along, try to understand, and then do it with the context. 2.5 minutes of time duration is what I would recommend to solve each question of reading fill in the blanks or reading and writing fill in the blanks. So whenever you're practicing reading FIB and reading writing FIB in any website, make sure you follow this, the regime that I gave you. The next is listening section. Yes, what matters in listening section is same as what used to matter in listening section. Summarize spoken text, listening fill in the blanks, highlight incorrect words and write from dictation. Only these four are important. Rest, you're gonna click one and move on. Choose single, choose multiple, select missing word and highlight correct summary. Click one and move on. Absolutely time waste if you start solving them. Now let's start with summarize spoken text. What template to use? You can use the same template as that of retail lecture, the new template that I shared, or you can use my old template that I have given you, but make sure to use a shortened version of a template. Don't use lengthy templates. Like the lecture gives the important key points and the relevant information about. Lengthy templates should be avoided for summarize spoken text. The technique for summarize spoken text is same as retail lecture. Listen for 5 seconds, write for 5 seconds. Listen for 5 seconds, write for 5 seconds. Towards the end, you will have 4 or 5 phrases. Make sure you fill the template using these 4 or 5 phrases. But in retail lecture, I told you, don't worry about logic or the grammar. Here, I'll tell you, don't worry about the logic, but worry about the grammar and the spelling. Most important. If you want to join a course, you can join us online course. We can help you with the feedback. But if you don't want to invest your money and time on a course, then probably ChatGPT will come to your rescue. Make sure to write 65 to 70 words if you are for PT Academic, or 20 to 30 words for PT Core. For PT Academic, I would recommend 65 to 68 words to be precise. If you can write more the marks, because summarized spoken text contributes some 8 to 10 marks towards your listening and 8 to 10 marks towards your writing. Main problem people end up facing is the grammar and the note-taking strategy. So to fix the grammar, we have a solution. Just copy whatever you've written and write this sentence, copy paste this sentence. Review my write-up with respect to basic grammar and show corrections in bracket. This you type to ChatGPT. I'm going to do the same now. Let's see what ChatGPT shows. But before that, let me just review it right in front of you. The talk was about farmers in India has committed. This is a wrong sentence. The talk was about farmers in India who have committed. Because farmers in India, the talk was about farmers in India, it's an end of a sentence. Still, if you're continuing, you need to add this relative clauses. But let's see what ChatGPT comments on this particular paragraph. Alright, I've already copied it. I'm just pasting it here. Review my write-up with respect to basic grammar. Let's see what it says. Here is the write-up with corrections. Key corrections. See, farmers in India has committed suicide. Farmers in India who have committed suicide. Subject verb agreement adding who for clarity. The speaker talked that debt is pushing. The speaker talked about how debt is pushing. So these are the kind of corrections that you will be getting in our course as well. But it's a manual review that will be more accurate because Pearson may not be using ChatGPT. But it could be somewhat similar to what ChatGPT is giving. Probably ChatGPT does it thoroughly with a strict correction. Pearson may not, or it could be vice versa. I'm not sure about exactly how ChatGPT does, but yes, this is the kind of response you get, and using this you can actually learn how to fix your grammar and spelling. So 1 or 2 questions, probably 10 minutes of your time is enough to practice on summarized spoken text. More than that not required, hardly 8 to 10 marks towards your listening and writing, not a priority, but yes, 1 or 2 questions you can practice on an everyday basis. After this is listening, fill in the blanks, listening, fill in the blanks. What matters is spelling and your listening skills. To improve your listening skills towards the end, I'm going to give you a written, but spelling is the most important thing here. So 5 questions a day if you practice should be more than enough. I don't recommend practicing a lot because what matters is the spelling and the listening skills. So we need to have a separate routine for your spelling, learning and listening skills that I'm gonna give you in the end. But that's what listening fill in the blanks, very, very important module. It's an integrated module, meaning it contributes marks to 2 modules, listening and writing. 2-3 questions you can expect 15 marks towards your listening and 15 marks towards your writing. Very important. If you have problem in the spelling, then definitely marks will trickle down. After this is highlight incorrect words. What matters in highlight incorrect words is your reading skills. This is also an integrated section, meaning you got to listen and you got to read and highlight, so it contributes some 12 to 15 marks towards your listening and 12 to 15 marks towards your reading. 2-3 questions will come. No need to practice a lot on this. What matters is your reading skills. You got to read a bit faster, meaning you need to catch the speed of the speaker. This is the only thing that is required here. So take up a novel and start reading fast. Automatically things will fall in place. If you have time, then definitely some 2-3 questions you can practice on an everyday basis, or you can skip it. But know the approach. It's a reading skill. If your reading skills are poor, meaning you are not able to read fast, your speed is very slow, then simply practicing is not going to make a huge miracle difference towards your scores. You got to take a book and start reading for 1 hour, automatically problem fixed. After this, the last section is right from dictation. I would recommend to practice some 10 questions minimum, 10 to 15 minutes you need to give time. If possible, more questions, more you do, the more perfect you become. This module is the one that contributes some 40 to 45 to 50 marks towards your listening separately and writing separately. This is the one I'm telling you if you're looking forward to having that great score towards your immigration. Here the approach is listen to an audio and start taking some short notes. After that, expand the short notes and then add extra words. Can I add extra words? I would still recommend add it, man. Should not be a problem. Add extra spellings, definitely yes, because the score guide says 1 correct word will give you 1 mark to listening and 1 mark to writing. There is no evaluation with respect to grammar, so don't have to worry. You can write in any order. But usually we don't write in a different order. We don't write in reverse order, isn't it? You listen to audio and you write in the same order. Towards the end, you add extra words. Singular noun, plural noun, present tense of the verb like develop, past tense of the verb developed, S form of the verb develops. All these are little difficult to catch when you listen to an audio. He developed the project. Is it develop, develops or developed? Add all 3. And towards the end, add some extra spellings if you have concerns about spellings. And in the end, you again have to add the, some articles. I went to park. I went to a park. A is not clearly heard. As a result, you will not write that, but A is there because, you know, when it's a foreign accent, they don't pronounce this A clearly. Towards the end, simply add some articles. A, the. Practice some 10 questions a day. that should be more than enough. But along with this, the most important routine that I'm gonna talk about now, you got to follow. That's nothing but 1 hour of reading activity, 30 minutes of listening to a podcast, 15 minutes of some spelling sessions. If you join our course, we have some big repository, large repository of spelling sessions, and every day we give you spelling tests. But if you don't want to invest on a course, then go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to get you some spelling tests. This is very, very crucial. At least some 15 minutes of spelling test you gotta get involved in, and if possible, whenever you get time, play this beautiful game called Dual and Back, at least for 10-15 minutes. This is known to increase your working memory, and when such a thing happens, repeat sentence right from dictation becomes a piece of cake. Alright, so in a nutshell, the important things are not all the 20 modules, it's the 6 modules that makes difference. It's read aloud, repeat sentence, reading fill in the blank, reading writing fill in the blank, listening fill in the blank, write from dictation. These 6 you focus more, like 10 minutes of read aloud, 15 minutes of repeat sentence, 10 reading fill in the blanks question if possible, or 10 reading writing fill in the blanks question if possible. Otherwise you can reduce it to 5 questions of each per day and 5 listening fill in the blanks and 10 write from dictation. This is the crux. For the next 1 month, you're going to practice along with this 1 hour of reading activity, 30 minutes of listening to a podcast, 10 to 15 minutes of towards spelling test, and 10 to 15 minutes of dual and back. This is the strategy that I'm giving you. And again, if you're still wondering, describe image, why have you not written it? It's still not a priority. It hardly contributes some 10 marks. So focus on whatever I gave you. The strategies and the templates for describe image should be more than enough. I really hope this was an informative content. If you really like the content, like, share and subscribe, and leave your valuable comments in the comment section. With this, I'll park the video here. This is Nakul and AKUL, Nakul signing off from Skills PT. Soon we'll be back. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Thanks much.